This video might sound like a motivational video, and yeah, I believe that this video is going to motivate you to learn English. If you are someone struggling with speaking English, if you are trying to learn this language for the last 1 year, 2 years, and haven't yet learned how to talk in this language properly, I think this video is going to motivate you to do that. Because 2 years ago, I was just like you, struggling with speaking English. I had ideas in my mind, I had thoughts in my mind that I was not able to communicate, that I was not able to deliver in proper way. That was the level I was at 2 years ago. And I'm also going to tell you how much time it took me to be fluent. That's what I'm going to tell you. And you know, believe me, my journey, like my English fluency journey, has been something that you must get inspiration from. That is why I want you to watch this video till the end, because by the end of this video you will get a bonus tip that will help you boost your confidence as well. I am not saying that I have mastered this language, but what I'm saying here is that I have become quite comfortable with speaking English. And if you are struggling, if you have thoughts in your mind, if you have ideas in your mind that you want to articulate but you are not able to articulate for some reason, this video is going to help you do that. I guarantee. If you watch this video till the end, nothing can stop you from becoming a fluent speaker in this language. Like, you will become as good as I am right now. Now let's get started and talk about my English fluency journey. Yeah, it was 2019 when I thought of something like learning English, something like learning to speak English. Back then I had no idea how I was going to learn this language, let alone speaking in this language. I had no any clue how I was going to learn this language. The way I am speaking right now was a dream for me in 2019. I could not even imagine myself speaking like this 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago, I had zero knowledge of English. Believe me on this, I had zero knowledge of English. I have built my English knowledge just by practicing this language every single day. When I got started on this journey, I had no friends whom I could get help from. I had no one whom I can practice English with. I had no one whom I can talk in English with. No one. I had literally no one. Back then in 2019, I was not able to speak even a single sentence without making error. I was not able to read even a single sentence. Believe me on this. And for all this, I had to start somewhere, and I could not understand where to start from. So someone suggested me a book named Super Fast English by Salam Chaus. So I just took it lightly. Like, you know, I didn't buy that book in 2019. I bought that book in 2021. If I had bought that book in 2019, I would have learned this language quickly, but I just took it lightly and bought this book in 2021. And that's when I realized the power of that book. I learned so much from that one book. That got me started on the English fluency journey. I learned so much from that book. So if you are someone starting from a scratch, I must recommend that book. I must say that you must buy that book in order for you to become fluent in this language. I just absorbed everything from that book. I learned everything from that book and became very interested in learning English. That book made me excited about learning English. Like, that book is a living book, you can say. That book is a conscious book that will teach you how to just speak English fluently. That book will also motivate you to learn English. I appreciate Salam Chaus the way he has written this book. He has put every needed information in this book that you need to learn English. That's what I am saying you. This book got me started on the journey of English fluency journey. This book made me excited about learning English. After finishing this book named Super Fast English by Salam Chaus, I got very serious about improving my English knowledge, because this book made me very excited about learning English. So I got very serious about improving my English knowledge, and that's when I started reading books, because back then I used to watch countless videos on how to speak English fluently, and one of the YouTubers suggested that in order to build fluency you need to read books. And I got started with fifth grade books, sixth grade books, or the books I found comfortable reading initially. And if you are someone struggling with fluency, I must say that you read books. First of all, read books that you find comfortable reading initially. And I became so obsessed with improving this language that I learned how to read English in just 1 year. Yeah, it took me 1 year to read properly. Then I started reading books properly because I was so obsessed with improving my knowledge in English. Then I moved to listening because I was watching a lot of videos on how to speak English, and I was actually following the things some of the best YouTubers who were teaching English were saying me to do. Like, they were teaching their audiences how to speak English fluently, and I was one of the audiences who was following their instructions, and I was obsessed with listening too. So it was 2023 when I got very serious about listening, and I used to listen to English podcast, English movies, or English music whole day. I immersed myself in listening to this language every single day. If I am not wrong, I used to spend 8 hours listening to this language because I was from Hindi medium school. I had big difficulty understanding this language, so I spent most of the time listening to this language, understanding how to understand this language. That's what I did, man, for 1 year. Then after 3 months of listening, I started understanding a little bit of English. Like, when I got started with listening English, I didn't know what was being said in the podcast I was listening to, in the movies I was watching. I didn't know what was being said. I was like mindlessly listening. I was not understanding even a sentence when I got started with listening to English podcast. I was not understanding. Believe me on this. If you are here at this phase, believe me, just keep listening to English podcast, keep listening, and you will understand one day. And after 6 months of listening to English podcast or English things, I started listening, I started understanding a lot better. And yeah, this is how I improved my listening skills. I was immersed into listening to this language so much that I improved my listening skill in just 6 months. No, it took me 1 year. So yeah, I learned to understand English just by listening to this language so much. I learned how to read English by just reading too much of English. And when it came to speaking English, I had no one whom I can practice English with, as I was living in a village. I am still living in a village, and I had no one whom I can get help from when it came to speaking English. So I found a way, I have learnt all these ways from the internet. And this was what I used to do, was I started recording myself in my phone's camera speaking about something or the other every single day. I used to read something, or I used to watch cartoons, and then I used to repeat that thing in my own words. I was terribly bad at speaking English. When I got started with speaking English, I didn't know how to say even a sentence without making errors. And I am talking about 2023. Like, in my one of the videos, I have showed you how I was at speaking English in 2023. You can go and watch that video and you will figure out how bad I was at speaking English. So I started recording myself in my phone's camera, and I used to speak about a topic, and I was speaking. I made a lot of mistakes while speaking in my videos, and then I used to review that video, and I used to notice what I was doing wrong. You know, how many times I was moving my hands in my videos, how many times I'm blinking. Like, I used to notice every single details in my videos, and that's what I think improved my English. And this was my English fluency journey. So yeah, this was my English fluency journey. I got started with learning English in 2019, and I had zero knowledge of English. I had no one whom I can practice English with, but I had not made excuses. I remember I instead made resources through which I could learn this language. I had big dreams and I still have big dreams that I want to achieve, and I'm working on that every single day. And if you are someone struggling with the English, I want you to get serious about improving this language. I want you to just, it all starts with you being serious. If you have not improved your English yet, despite trying for 2 years, 3 years, it is because you are not serious about improving this language. Once you become serious, this will become easier for you to learn. You have to immerse yourself into learning this language every single day. You have to do everything that it takes to become a fluent speaker in this language. That's what I'm saying, and you will become a fluent speaker in this language. There's no doubt about that. And in the end of this video, I want to say, if you found this video helpful, I want you to subscribe to this channel, and I also want you to hit the like button because it motivates me to make more videos like